Yo, welcome back. This is the Destination Devi program, and I am the host of this here thing that we do, Ray G. You know where to find me on Twitter at RayGQ, and we are back. I've been kind of off for a week. I put out a show last Monday, but really been off for a week as we got moved into the new crib, and as you can see, we're live from the new GQ headquarters. It's still getting moved in. I got curtains tacked up to the wall, tacky as hell. Don't have the new desk in, but we're making it. We're getting there, and I will not leave you hanging with the Rookie Report Week 2 edition. And man, you guys, this week, this is peak 2020 as far as the NFL is concerned. There were just some devastating injuries. The news, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. And I tweeted this out earlier. I am no medical professional. I have no medical expertise. Everything that I deliver to you guys, my viewpoints, how I analyze players, how I decipher talent from no talent, is all from the lens of somebody that actually played the game and studies football and loves fantasy, and make sure that I provide actionable content that way. But it's hard to ignore the fact that, you know, I've talked about it a lot. Football players in general, athletes, are creatures of habit. And when that habit is disrupted to the degree that everything in the offseason was completely different than these elite players were used to, bad things are bound to happen. And while football is an inherently dangerous sport, its violent injuries are a part of the game. It's hard to not think that some of this stuff with COVID and limited practice opportunities and contact and no preseason games, like some of this stuff it's hard to think that this isn't playing a factor into the injuries that we saw. Saquon Barkley, Raheem Mostert, Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, those are just a couple of people. Will Fuller went down today. Cam Akers was hurt. It just was every game we were losing not just players, but elite fantasy producers. And it's hard to think that otherwise, that this COVID situation has not affected and impacted this. And it just, my heart goes out to those individuals. It stinks. And for those of us in fantasy football and dynasty and redraft, I mean, you got to figure it out on the fly. That's what makes a good dynasty and fantasy manager opposed to the others, is figuring out shit on the fly. So here we are. These things have presented itself, and now we have to react. So this is the Rookie Report Week 2. We're going to dive into the rookies that are risers, my Rookie of the Week, the rookies that are fallers, and some that I'm starting to be a little bit concerned about. I'm not going to go all the way into full panic mode, but we'll get there when we get there. I keep everything in composite. If you don't have a black composition notebook, get one. I mean, I just scribble shit down during the game to go back and recall notes and things like that. But we are going to get into it. Excited to be here. Excited to talk to you. Ready to dive into these rookies. But you know we got to hear a word from my man Gus Johnson. Drop the intro, baby.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
All right, my Rookie of the Week. And granted, I'm recording this on Sunday, so the Sunday night game is still going on or is about to kick off. The Patriots versus the Seahawks. And outside of DJ Dallas actually spazzing out, I don't think there'll be much to talk about from the rookie front offensively. And then the Monday night game, Henry Ruggs is the big name. Bryan Edwards as well from the Saints and the Las Vegas Raiders game. But my Rookie of the Week, from what I saw, and I was very encouraged by what I saw from this player, was Justin Herbert, the quarterback from the Los Angeles Chargers. The fact that he was thrown into the starter's role last minute to a crazy Tyrod Taylor injury, and then to go out there and to perform the way that he did versus the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, albeit at home, no crowd, not really at home. There's no really a competitive advantage there. But Herbert looked outstanding. He was 22 for 33, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, ran the ball well. We knew that he was an athlete coming out of Oregon, but for him to be thrust into that position, practicing all week as the backup, I mean, they took the Chiefs to overtime, and outside of a couple of plays here and there, they had the defending champs on their ropes. But this was so encouraging and so positive because a lot of people throughout the entire draft process were kind of like, yeah, Herbert's okay, but he doesn't have that killer instinct. He doesn't have that kind of, that kind of mentality to go out there and make it happen. And he did exactly what he was able to do at Oregon. He was a little off target on some passes, but who isn't? He's an athlete. He can make all the throws. He's got a howitzer for an arm. So with time, I think you've got a really good quarterback on your hands. And I can tell you right now, if you were asking me based off of today, would I rather Kirk Cousins or a Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold or Teddy Bridgewater or whomever the San Francisco 49ers are going to roll out there, or Justin Herbert, give me that guy, especially in Superflex format. So Justin Herbert is my rookie of the week, big time riser. If there are league mates that you dynasty with that are still kind of like, it's Justin Herbert, I would try to trade for him. He was a top 7 pick in the NFL draft, top 6 pick. He's locked into the starting job. It's it. That's it for Tyrod Taylor. It's done. I don't care what happens. You cannot pull Justin Herbert off of the field, barring him going out there and just failing catastrophically over the next couple of weeks. Wally Pipp situation with Tyrod Taylor. And for those of us who have Justin Herbert in our dynasty leagues, that is a big boon, a big plus, because none of us expected him to play this year. The Chargers didn't even expect him to play this year. So to get any production from a rookie quarterback that has the talent to score you points through the air and on the ground is a massive, massive win. Justin Herbert looked out freaking standing today, albeit in a loss. His arrow was pointed up. Stock up on Justin Herbert. Now let's jump into some rookie risers, and we talked about this player last week, but James Robinson, y'all. James Robinson looks good. 16 carries again this week, 102 yards, 1 TD, 3 receptions. Last week he had 1 for 18 yards this week. So in total over 100 and 18 plus 120 total yards and a touchdown. He's good. He's explosive. He is the primary ball carrier. I don't care what happens with Devon Ozigbo and Raquel Armstead. It's James Robinson's job, at least for this season. Now, 2 ways you can look at this James Robinson situation. 1, sell high. Sell high, get a proven NFL talent, get a 2021 draft pick, or you hold him and hope that this organization moves forward with him potentially being their running back of the future, or at least for the next couple of years. Gardner Minshew looks good. Gardner Minshew looks like the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars long term, and it might behoove them to go ahead and start thinking about, if he finishes out this season the way that he's looked early on this year, next season they might think about extending him. And if that happens, that opens up a world of possibility for the Jaguars not having to take a Trevor Lawrence. Now, Lawrence was like 8 for 9 for 500 yards and 20 TDs on Saturday versus the Citadel. He's going to be the number 1 pick, but I don't think Jacksonville is going to be bad enough with Gardner Minshew there to get a Trevor Lawrence. And if you don't take Trevor Lawrence, I don't think you take a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance over what we've seen so far in Gardner Minshew. Now, I say that to say you've got 2 young pieces on your team that can help you win in the future, and James Robinson seems like he's going to be a part of that future. If it were me, and my personal opinion is I would sell high on James Robinson. I do not believe that Jacksonville is going to commit to him long term. They don't have a lot invested in him, but it is good to see him performing the way that he is performing early this season, commanding the touches, being more involved in the passing game. Stock up again for James Robinson. Now, one of the players I thought about making a co-rookie of the week, but he did exactly what we knew he would do, is Jonathan Taylor, the running back from the Indianapolis Colts, who outtouched Nyheim Hines 28-1. I know there was a little bit of trepidation about going all in on JT, and his price on DraftKings at I believe $5,100 was, smashed that. He was definitely in every one of my lineups, but went out there, commanded the bulk of the touches, 26 carries, 101, 1 TD. Again, outtouched Nyheim Hines 28-1. JT behind that line is money. He's good. He's a freak. He's a beast. It's his job. He is the running back of the future for the Indianapolis Colts. his stock and arrow is pointed upwards, and I just see him being locked and loaded as an RB1 from this point out for the rest of the season. You have to, any player who is getting 20, 25 carries, which Jonathan Taylor is built to do that, he's in RB1 territory. I think it's a given at this point that JT is an RB1 for the remainder of the season. Stock up on that rookie. If you can buy him, do it. If you can't, sucks, man. Should have had some JT on your team. Jonathan Taylor, stock up on that rookie. Now, another rookie who I talked about on the live stream, patreon.com/allgas. Live stream every Sunday before the games, talking start, sit stuff. And I said today, CeeDee Lamb was a flex-worthy play. And what did CeeDee Lamb do? Go out there, 9 targets, 6 receptions, over 100 yards. CeeDee Lamb is a stud. Him and Amari Cooper really complement each other well, and with Dak Prescott playing lights-out football, it was a little shaky early for the Dallas Cowboys, but once they settled down, Dak over 450 passing yards, CeeDee Lamb is a stud. He is an absolute stud. He's explosive, he's smooth, and he's on the field playing. His role is only going to continue to grow. CeeDee Lamb is a major buy. I think he's a flex play from here on out. The arrow is pointed up on CeeDee Lamb, and as much as I like Michael Gallup, I know a lot of people talked about it's going to be Gallup and CeeDee Lamb in the future because Dallas can dump Amari Cooper after next season. Being down here in Texas, I just don't see that happening. Cooper is good. I don't know why people think Amari, and if you watch that game, over 100 yards for Amari Cooper, one-handed grabs down the sideline, breaking tackles, run after the catch ability. I think Lamb and Cooper is a better pairing for Dak Prescott in Dallas than CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. I think Michael Gallup is extremely talented, and I think this is an opportunity to buy low on Gallup. The unfortunate reality is he's probably going to be the one on another team here in the near future. CeeDee Lamb is a stud. I'm going to try like hell to trade for CeeDee Lamb this week. Flex play in seasonal leagues, buy in dynasty leagues. The arrow is pointed up on CeeDee Lamb. 2 more guys that I want to talk about. One player that played on Thursday night, Joe Burrow. Listen, there was a question that I've posed on this show multiple times, that I've posed on Twitter multiple times. It's like the chicken or the egg. Who was more responsible for LSU's success last year, Joe Brady or Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow or Joe Brady? And right now, early in this 2020 season, the answer is unequivocally Joe Burrow. He's a stud. He's got it. There were some things that happened in that Browns game that he will learn from. But when you look at what he can do from the pocket, what he gives you with his mobility and his legs, Joe Burrow was a stud on Thursday night. I know Cincinnati lost that game, but if you're a Cincinnati fan, you have to be ecstatic about what you've seen so far from Joe Burrow. His relationship with Tyler Boyd is good. T. Higgins got on the field. We saw him make some plays, and the young tight end Drew Sample was also involved in that offense. Joe Burrow, he's a future top 8 quarterback in Dynasty, and in seasonal leagues, I believe he's somebody that you can roll out there as a starter and throw him out there with confidence, because right now, outside of about 7 or 8 guys, it gets a little shaky down the line. So we saw Deshaun Watson, who is regarded as a top 8 quarterback in seasonal leagues. That's what happens when you trade your best player for David Johnson. You leave your quarterback susceptible to nobody to pass the ball to besides Darren Fells and Jordan Akins. I mean, I have no words. I can talk about the Houston Texans all day and the mismanagement of that organization, but Joe Burrow, stud, stock up on that young kid, get you some Joe Burrow. Now, the last player I want to talk about didn't have a big stat line, but I loved how he was involved in the offense, and it's Laviska Shenault. 5 carries this game, 3 receptions. He was utilized exactly how he was utilized in Colorado in college, and we just keep talking about these Jaguars. James Robinson, Laviska Shenault, Gardner Minshew. Listen, there's a lot to like about this Jacksonville offense, and the defense is not very good, which means they are going to have to throw the ball and score points to come back. Visca's all right, man. I like how they're using Visca, especially when you're giving him the ball on the ground, because he is a human tank when he gets the ball in his hands. Not a major stat line, but Laviska Shenault. I sent out some offers to get me some Visca. Haven't been able to successfully do it, but Visca Shenault is definitely a rookie riser. All right, I said that was my last rookie riser. I got one more. I got one more, and it's Josh Kelley, and it's the simple fact that he got 23 carries. I mean, I said it last week. He is more than Austin Eckler's backup. This is Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler a couple of years ago. Josh Kelley is going to be involved in the offense. Josh Kelley's probably going to lead this team in carries this season. And with Justin Herbert and his ability to run the ball with his legs, should open stuff up for Kelley and for Eckler. Now, not a huge stat line. Didn't have a lot of rushing yards. What did he have? He had 64 rushing yards, 2 receptions, 23 carries. I mean, that's dream scenario. Edwards-Helaire only had 10. He had 6 receptions this week and, 16 total touches. But Josh Kelley's a talented running back. So still, go out there, buy you some Josh Kelley. All right, I'm done with the rookie risers. Now, let's go to the fallers. Rookie fallers, and I hate to do this because injury victory laps are the worst things ever. But Cam Akers, injury to his ribs. I've not seen if it was broken ribs or what, but, Darrell Henderson looked nice. Malcolm Brown looked nice again. And what's disappointing is Akers started the game and looked pretty good. He was the starting running back, was getting the carries, and for him to go down, it's just, that's very, very unfortunate for Akers. Don't know how long he's going to be out for, but yeah, definitely a little bit of a stock down for Cam Akers. Now, I don't want to say faller in the sense that I think this player is bad, but it's 2 weeks in a row that Jerry Jeudy's dropped multiple passes for the Denver Broncos. Now, he ended up with 62 yards, and Cortland Sutton was hurt. Drew Lock was out of the game. Injuries all over the place. But Jerry Jeudy, one of the knocks on him coming out of Alabama, for as much as we want to marvel at his route running prowess, is he tends to drop the ball. And 2 weeks in a row, Jerry Jeudy has had back-to-back drops in games. This game, he dropped 2 that I counted that were critical catches. It's concerning to see that. Yes, he can get open. Yes, his routes are crisp, but you can't be dropping the damn ball, Jerry Jeudy. So just a little bit of a faller for me, Jerry Jeudy. Also, Justin Jefferson, he did lead Minnesota in receiving yards, had 3 receptions. So it's nothing to do with Justin Jefferson per se, but the Minnesota passing offense just looks bad. Kirk Cousins was horrible today. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a world. I know some shows earlier in the season, I said Justin Jefferson could be one of the most productive rookies in this 2020 class, and there's no way that's going to happen now. It's not going to happen. They need a quarterback. They need Kirk Cousins to start playing better. They need something. So right now, he's falling as a byproduct of that Minnesota Vikings offense. Couple of guys that are falling, but not again because of their activity level on the field. And the panic meter is just starting to heat up for me on these players. And I'm going to start with one of my guys, Jalen Reagor. Another 4-catch game, so not horrible. He didn't goose you if you started him. I started him in a couple of places. But Carson Wentz in that field, he just looks so bad. So bad. And if the quarterback can't get the wide receiver the ball, I cannot in good faith and good conscience tell you to go out and start said player. Carson Wentz has got to pick his shit up because he is looking like another couple of games. You might as well throw Jalen Hurts in there to see what he can do. So Jalen Reagor, a little bit of a stock down for me. He did drop one towards the goal line. He got bailed out because they called a personal foul, helmet-to-helmet hit, unnecessary roughness. But he's got to pull that pass down. Caught a screen pass, ran into the defense instead of running outside. Another little knock that he'll learn. But Jalen Reagor, that Philadelphia Eagles passing attack outside of Zach Ertz, I mean, stock down a little bit for Reagor. Antonio Gibson. Now, I had Gibson, third rookie coming into the season, third ranked rookie as far as production. And he had 13 for 55, scored a touchdown late, out-touched Peyton Barber as we all thought. But Washington is bad, man. That offensive line is bad. I don't think Gibson is bad. I just think we definitely need to temper those top 24 expectations. Had he not scored that touchdown, and it's another pedestrian day for Antonio Gibson. I don't know if he caught the damn ball or not, but just kind of, it leaves a lot to be desired, right? 13 for 55. Again, without that touchdown, I am not full-fledged panic mode whatsoever on Antonio Gibson, but I know in the Discord, one of the patrons said, Ray, I might be selling Antonio Gibson. I'm still a buyer, but I would not knock you for selling Gibson. The problem is, I think everybody else sees that. We were expecting some Christian McCaffrey-like production with Ron Rivera. Maybe not production, but usage. And to see J.D. McKissic be in there, getting a lot of carries, getting a lot of touches, I don't think you'll be able to trade him for what you value him as. Therefore, you got to hold him. And I don't think it's a bad hold. He's still the primary ball carrier for Washington. But just a little bit of concern. Just a tiny bit for Antonio Gibson. More concern for DeAndre Swift. Ugh, God, Swift. What do you have, 5 touches today? 5 carries? Yeah. 5 for 12 for DeAndre Swift. Faller. I mean, he was a faller last week because AP got all the carries. AP still had more carries but was less effective. Lions just look shitty. I mean, he's just a rookie faller. Until they get Carry-On out of the way, until the corpse of Adrian Peterson goes away, I don't think we're going to get what we want out of DeAndre Swift here in 2020. At least early on, it has not looked like that. So DeAndre Swift, just a tad bit of a rookie faller. Now, my rookie sneaky waiver wire pickup ad of the week is New York Jets running back LaMichael Perine. Whoa. I know the Jets stink. They're horrible. They're going to be 0-16. Frank Gore got a ton of carries. He's super old, and he was very ineffective. LaMichael Perine got a couple of touches. He was active for the first game. We know Le'Veon Bell is on IR. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. He may end up being a ball carrier in that backfield, albeit a horrible one. But at this point, with how many people have been injured, we just want people that we can throw out on the field and start that are going to touch the damn football. So LaMichael Perine might be one of those players that you can pick up off of waivers for dirt cheap. Stash him away. If something happens to Gore or if something happens to Adam Gase, he'll be there for the next 3 years or whatever. LaMichael Perine may be a running back to get you some touches. All right, you guys, that is the show. Rookie Report Week 2 in the books. About to go check out the Patriots and the Seahawks. We've got the Saints and the Raiders. Hopefully Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards gets involved in the action. Man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a lot of good stuff cooking over with Destination Devi. Winning money, making money. Monkey Knife Fight was real nice to your boy today. If you want to get in on that Monkey Knife Fight action, first time deposits, use the promo code DEVY Devi. They'll match you. If you put in 50, they give you 50. Why not do it? Make sure you use that promo code Devi. Make sure you check out Destination Devi on YouTube, on the podcast, on Twitter. Follow the show. And if you want more access to your boy, patreon.com/allgas. Keeping you lit up with the upcoming 2020 rookie rankings, football live streams, talking college, talking NFL, talking rookies. Come talk to your boy GQ, man. I appreciate y'all checking it out, but I am out. Y'all be good, be blessed, hustle, motivate, be great. I'm gone.